Hello, my name is Doris, and I am Little Bird Products. What I want to do today is go over with you a little tutorial, my fashion of a tutorial, for how another manner of how to upcycle men's shirts. This is, I think, my favorite way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through assembling your materials. Then I'm going to show you the way that I assemble my shirt. I do it on my mannequin. I call her Ethel because she's just about my size. She's a little larger some places, a little smaller some places. But basically, if the things I make fit Ethel, they'll fit me. So what I do is I think about, okay, what color do I want to make? In this particular one of my subscribers said they would like to see black and pink. And of course, I like black and pink or purple together. So what you'll need to do is, besides your normal sewing tools, you will need to assemble a minimum of 3 men's shirts. Okay, and I'm going to show you here in a bit Ethel pinned up with my assembled shirt pieces. And then I'm going to disassemble the shirt on Ethel and talk you through what I did to get her to that point. Then I'm going to sew the shirt together and show you the final product. So stick around. And on the end, I'll show you everything that I made this week. If you've been watching my daily blogs, you will have seen some of these, but I'll show you the final products in the end. And of course, I'll be dancing around. And of course, I'll show you the final product of the upcycled men's shirt I made. Okay, now get prepared. Decide on your colors. And decide if you want lightweight cotton shirts or heavier weight or flannel. It'll work for any weight. The first shirt is what I call the inspiration piece. And basically, it's the piece that, it's the shirt that you will see on the front and the back. This shirt, it can be really any size shirt. It can be a woman's shirt, but I really like the men's shirt. In this case, I had a really nice lighter weight Columbia. It's kind of a pinkish mauve shirt that I liked. It was too small for me, but it buttoned all the way down the front, and it was the length that I wanted in the front. I like to have them 28 to 30 inches, and this one ended up being dress length because you'll see that I added some other pieces of one of the shirts on the back to lengthen it and make it dress length. So that's your first shirt. That's your inspiration shirt. Button down the front. You can take the collar off if you want or leave it on if you like. In this case, I left mine on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to look for a shirt where you like the sleeves. You know, you can shorten the sleeves as I did in this case. I made them 3/4 length and I'm going to put elastic around them. But basically the sleeves. And the sleeves need to fit you. You know, the armhole needs to fit you. The rest of the shirt doesn't need to fit. It can be bigger, smaller, whatever. But in this case, I chose a black shirt and for the sleeves. And I liked the length of the sleeves. They were a little bit longer. And I take the cuffs off. So because the piece you're going to use, and you'll see here in a minute, is just this whole side piece. And you're going to connect that to the center piece. So you need the sleeves, the sleeve shirt, we'll call that. And then what you need is really the next shirt. You don't need anything from the shirt except the sleeves itself, because you're going to use those to help make the sides. And what I do is I take the shirt, the sleeves from this centerpiece shirt, right? And there are 2 sleeves. So I'll take those 2 sleeves. I'm going to use those for 2 pieces of the side. And then I'm going to use the third shirt, which is just the sleeves, for the other one, because you need to have it a little wider. And it's going to be gathered underneath. So that's 3 shirts. The base shirt for the front and the back, the sleeve shirt, okay, the sleeve and shoulder shirt, and then the other shirt is just the sleeves. Now, what I did, and you'll see in the back of here, I lengthened it using the piece of that black shirt because there was a lot of good shirt left. Good shirt left? So I use that to lengthen it. You could use the other shirt, the one that you just harvested the sleeves out of. You could use that to lengthen it or lengthen it in the front. So you have a lot of good material that you're using. But basically, 3 shirts. Pick them out. Choose the colors. Know that you like it. Know that the sleeves fit in the one that you're going to use for the shoulders and the sleeves. And the other one, you just have to like the sleeves of it. So I will show you here, assembled on my mannequin Ethel, and then I will stop being a talking head. I will show you Ethel, me disassembling Ethel, and then sewing it back together. It's a relatively easy pattern to follow. It's not really a pattern, it's just a method. The basic main thing is making sure that you know how wide, how broad across the shoulders you are, because you need to have a total, all right, a total from the edge of the sleeve to the edge of the sleeve, all the way across here and all the way across the back. And that's relatively easy to do. I like things kind of drop shouldered. I like them to be comfortable and easy. And then you'll see here, I use the cuffs underneath the arm, and that's what I gather those sleeve pieces, to widen, to widen the sides of the shirt. So I hope you enjoy, and please put comments in below and let me know if you're going to make one and what colors you're going to make it in. I am going to make several more, I believe, and probably different colors. I have some really nice summery colors, and I think this would make a great summer piece if you make it with lightweight enough shirts. And I also enjoy wearing this because I can make the sleeve shorter or longer. And you can wear it actually because it buttons all the way down the front. You can wear it as a jacket, a lightweight summer jacket. You can wear it as a cover up, when you're going to the beach. You can wear it for a lot of different things, and it's wash and wear. What better? 3 men's shirts, and away you go. Thank you for watching, and watch in the end, and you will see all of the things I've made this week. Bye. Here is Ethel, all dressed up in my men's shirt upcycle, pinned up. Like I said before, I try to pin everything on Ethel because she's about my size, and if it fits Ethel, it's going to fit me. This is my base shirt, and you'll see here where I cut it off at the sides. It's straight down at the sides. Let me turn her around, and there's the back. Now what I did, that's shirt number 1. I'm going to try to talk through this. And shirt number 2 is this. See the sleeves? And what I do is, the important piece here is the width from this side of the shoulder seam to the other side of the other shoulder seam over here. Now, if that fits you across the back and it fits you across the front, and then you've already tried it on so you know that the sleeve side fits you. I cut the cuffs off because I am going to sew this together, and I'll show you later how I put a little pocket, outline a pocket. I put a piece of bias binding through there and put elastic through it, so I have a little elastic sleeve with a little ruffle cuff. So that's shirt number 2, and you harvest the sleeve and shoulders off of it. And then, of course, I used another piece of that's all the way across the bottom of that shirt, and used it for my bottom ruffle to make this longer. If you have a shirt that's the length that you want, then you don't need to do that, but I try to keep all my pieces. And then shirt number 3, you're just going to use the sleeves off of it. And you might have sleeves, in your scrap pile that you want to use. And then this is the sleeves off of what I'll call your base or inspiration shirt, because you're going to gather those and you're going to take one of the cuffs and put it across here. And see how that widens the whole side? And I use the longer sleeve in the back to match the hem length there, and the shorter sleeve in the front. And I kind of like that gradual way that it goes. Okay? Now, what I will do is take this off of Ethel. I have already sewn my sleeve pieces to my base shirt because that's pretty easy. You just sew them on there. And then I'm going to attach, the next step is to gather and attach these sleeves to that cuff. And then I will attach the cuff to the underside of this sleeve. And then you're pretty much finished, except for finishing off the hem. Now, how easy can that be? That is just, I think, a wonderful men's shirt upcycle. And really, when you look at it, you could use any sleeves, any colors that coordinated. I could have used the black cuffs here, but I chose to use the base cuffs because you're going to have that. So it's really a fun make. I do have quite a few sleeves left from some other items where I used the base shirt, and so I'm thinking maybe I'll use this as a scrap buster for me, and then all I'll have to have is the base or inspiration shirt. And really, the nice thing about that is that shirt, because you're only using the front and the back pieces, that can be any size. Really, the only thing that's size dependent is this shirt number 2, which you're using for the shoulders there and the sleeve. That's the only thing, that's dependent. In fact, it could be, as long as the sleeve fits, and on most men's shirts, it could even be a small men's shirt as long as the circumference of this sleeve works. And it could be a short sleeve shirt if you want to make it short sleeve. So you think about that, and then a couple of sleeves. So I think the next one that I make, I'm going to go through and make it out of scraps that go together. I'm thinking that might be a nice one, to make it one that's short sleeved, so I already use the short sleeve assembly. And I like this gathering here because I think that's going to make it very hip friendly, and it gives it a little pizzazz. And I think I'm going to keep making a few that are more dress length in the back. Even for summertime, that'll make a nice cover up. I'm thinking, over a swimsuit. And this shirt is a really nice Columbia shirt. And it's very breathable and lighter weight. And I'm thinking for summertime, that'd be, a pretty nice shirt. So I will get to disassembling this and take the pieces off, pin it back together, sew it up, and model it for you. Alrighty then. I have my shirt all assembled, except I serged the edge of the sleeves, and as I said, these come down about to my wrist. And what I do is I take a piece of black bias binding like this, and I open it up. Because I have a lot of bias binding. Open it up and give it a flat iron. Now what I'm going to do is on the wrong side of this, and I have a little, this is sewn shut here, but it has a little button above where the cuff was. And what I'm going to do is, I think I want to have it be a nice size little ruffle here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bias binding, I'm going to sew it with leaving the end opened here. So I'm going to sew it all the way around to make a channel to put, I have some elastic, very thin elastic, and I'm going to take and feed it through that channel, gather it up so that my cuffs are gathered, and it'll have a little ruffle then here. And they'll be just above where my watch is on my wrist. And then you can shove it up, to make them 3/4 sleeves. And they'll be really cute wrist length sleeve with a little ruffle on it. I'm going to sew these down and then thread my elastic through. And then I'll try it on and I'll show you what it looks like finished and on the mannequin. Take a couple of pictures so that I can put them in my video. And then with a nice little press, this shirt will be finished.